Here we go. Ooh. Oh, dang. Wiggle that tank. Come on. Bounce, baby. Bounce. All right. Okay, so welcome to the channel. You guys don't get a whole lot of muffin replay here. I just do a bunch of back-to-back vids playing the VK72. I've been playing this tank lately and just absolutely love this thing. Got great armor, stronger, thicker lower glacial hull plate. Does have some weak points around the side, much thinner than what you would see on an E100, for example, with its really big side cheeks. Same exact cannon, however, the VK72 does have a slightly slower reload, so we'll have to take that into consideration when playing the VK72. I do really like both these tanks, but I really like the VK72. Has a very trollish gun mantlet, very bouncy, and also unlike the Mouse NE100, they don't have as big of those side cheeks. Those tanks, you have to look away and angle from your enemy, but the VK72, you can kind of keep it somewhat straight. Pretty good penetration, got good. It's really good. We've got the heat rounds to really cut through some of that thick armor. As a heavy tank, we will be facing some pretty heavily armored vehicles. All right, Naval Frontier, here we go. I'm going to go off to the left, the VK72. Seems to be a pretty good position. I don't want to get caught too much in the middle. I can easily get shot or flanked from the side. It is a pretty good lookout spot to go here in the center where my team is going, but my team's already going that way. I want to go a different direction. I'm trying to turn my turret facing this way to make it a little bit difficult if I do get spotted, that hopefully they just hit the turret. Now we've got a lot of enemies pushing over here to the left-hand side, so I'm not going to push up too much. I'm just going to be a little cautious. Unfortunate bounce there. I've got a longer reload. I've got a wiggle. Got a bounce. Really nice. Had to use that heat round to cut through the front. Was able to bounce from that FV. Great shot there. Was able to reload just before he went around the corner. Now I've got to be a little careful here when backing up. Yep, there it is. I do not want to get in view of that Ho-Ri. He will easily penetrate me from the back. This tank doesn't have a lot of armor on the sides and rear, so I've really got to pay attention, keep my enemies in front of me. So excellent bounce there. This yo is in a pretty good position. Bounce that heat round. Okay, unfortunately, he did penetrate me there. Getting some more bounces. Medium tanks don't have the best Oh, wow. If I would have known he was going to pop up in front of me, I would have used the HE round. That was kind of unexpected. We're down 2 teammates. Things aren't looking too good here. But I can't really quite push up, because if I do, I've got enemies off to my left. I do not want to be exposing that weak side of my armor. I've got to keep things in front of me. Another bounce. Excellent bounce that I got from that FE. So gotta be cautious of that FE off to my left. All right, he's making a huge mistake here. Got himself really exposed. This is really gonna keep now this is super helpful with the teammate pushing up with me over here to the left. We're behind on teammates. We've really got to push. I'm clear off to the left. Beautiful, taking out that yo. Got to be a little careful. Tank destroyers do have some of the best penetration in the game. My guess is he's going to most likely... Wow, he didn't actually use a heat round. And he was able to penetrate me surprisingly, but he did have that upper hill advantage. And I probably had my upper glacial plate maybe a little bit too flat with him looking down on me. This Kempf Panzer most likely will struggle to penetrate the front of me, even though... There we go. So, pretty good. This grill. Okay. So, pretty good comeback we made here. Yeah, I've seen YouTubers say that they don't like the VK72, but I honestly really, really like the thing. Now, if I'm looking at an enemy that's trying to aim and shoot at me, depending on where I see his cannon aiming, I may just slightly wiggle or adjust my turret and pointing my cannon a little bit in the direction of where he's pointing his cannon so that those weak sides, those thin weak side cheeks on each side of the VK are a little bit harder to penetrate. However, I have noticed that when getting really up close, the VK's turret doesn't turn as fast, and the enemy can trick you a little bit in trying to aim one way and then quickly aim the other way if they do have a faster rotating turret. Middleburg here on the second map do get spotted. Gonna quickly back up. Looks like we were able to also spot that Vickers. I'm not sure if he took a shot at us. I'd have been surprised if we spotted him just as is. I want to say he probably took a shot. Now we're a little slow here. I see an E100 getting detected in town. A lot of the enemies pushing up here. We've got a lot of our friends also pushing up here. I don't want to completely leave this mouse alone unless it's just the E100 and the mouse, but I do see a T57 heavy here. I want to try and give him some support. And if these guys think they're in the clear and they can aggressively rush, I can get some pretty good shots off. Okay, unfortunate miss there. I was actually trying to aim for the lower glacial plate. This T57 is making a pretty big mistake. I am using that adrenaline. I need to get this reloaded and get a shot here into the T57. Good shot there. Mouse is trying to back up. Now this puts both of these enemies in a very, very vulnerable position. This E100 is definitely aware of me being there. That T57 is almost acting as if he isn't, which is kind of funny because he's the one that I penetrated. Gonna take just a little bit of a risky shot. I'm gonna just try this using the heat round. Excellent penetration there. To be honest with you, I didn't even know if that was going to quite penetrate, RNG being on our side. Now, unfortunately, this T57 is pushing up. He's undetected. I don't think I can peek out enough to get a shot off of him to finish him off. This E100 knows it's going to be really difficult for him to penetrate me from the front, which is why he's most likely using those HE rounds. Yeah, he knows what he's doing, and that's the thing with the E100 is if you taking your turret and angling, looking away, keeping that corner almost facing you is really what's going to make your turret the strongest. The VK, you're the strongest when you're really just looking and facing right at the enemy. And I really, really like that because you can keep your turret facing the right direction and being able to get those shots off. Now, our team's falling apart here. This is definitely not looking good. Being that T57 did cut across. Yep, there he is. I figured he was going to come up from behind me. Not a whole lot I can do here. Yeah, this is not good. Yeah, good move by the E100. So not a whole lot we could have done there, but great job by the enemy team. Just a really bouncy and just very, very trollish tank if you know how to use it. Yeah, you do have those thinner, weak spots on the side of your tank you do need to be careful of. Really trying to wiggle. The thing has very, very thick tracks. I mean, this thing, you've even kind of noticed it on the Naval Frontier. There were some times, and I think you'll even see it in some of my later gameplays, that some enemies don't even bother taking shots at me. They try and focus their attention elsewhere because they know they can much more easily get a penetrating shot than on the VK. All right, I'm going to go push in town here. The VK, a little bit slower, heavy, taller. Now, unfortunately, I get spotted here and take a huge hit from both sides here. Luckily, I was able to bounce that other one. I'm going to try putting just some pressure over here. I don't want to be too aggressive. They've got a good amount of enemies here. I'm going to try to see if I can... Okay, so they know what I was trying to do here. I was trying to use this little slit here to get some shots in. Like I said, I don't want to push up too much. I'm definitely going to need the support of my teammates. Not sure what this IS-4 is doing. He is being way too aggressive here and is putting himself right in the middle of exposing a lot of his weak points. All right, awesome. I don't think I'm going to bounce this. Tank destroyers have really good penetration. I do have enough support for teammates here, so I'm in a pretty good spot. I'm going to move up here with this yo a little bit, trying to do some side scraping. That grill, huge mistake in peeking out in front of me. And just trying to keep myself as level with this building to side scrape as much as I can. And if it weren't for this yo in front of me here, this would have put me in a pretty good or pretty bad position here, especially if I didn't have this E100 and yo with me. If they wouldn't have been there with me, I most likely would have tried backing up a bit more. But our team is actually doing really good here. Surprisingly, that Kronwagen was able to get a good shot off me. I'm not sure if that was using a premium round or what. Excellent, got the bounce there. Good penetrating shot there. And just getting right up in his face. And this is going to make it very, very difficult for him if he had a chance to shoot me. So another great game. Good work. Blitz, a lot of it, no matter what you do, a lot of it too is... it does rely on teamwork. You have to have your team be able to put in what they can. And a lot of what I'm doing and how I'm positioning myself does depend on paying attention to the map and seeing where my teammates are. We've got a good push here. Now, there's an excellent position here on mines we can get to that is just so good for the VK. This little opening here in the rocks is going to give me excellent protection and a view of where all these enemies are. And the fact that they're right in front of us here, it's open season. Yeah, and with the size of my gun mantlet too, it's going to make it very, very challenging. I do need to be conscientious of those tank destroyers in the back. Had a little bit of butterfingers there. Trying to switch to use my HE or my heat round on that E100, but ended up using him on the Chieftain there. So just beautiful. Hull down, very protected. This little opening just giving me an excellent view on these enemies. Gotta play a little careful here. These rear-mounted turrets, especially for a heavy tank, is just so perfect in my opinion. I really think that with the fact that this thing, with its armor profile and how it's built, having that rear-mounted turret is just so beautiful. Not to mention, when you do wiggle, it gives a little bit more dramatic movement to the back of your turret as well, making it a little harder to hit that cupola on top, which honestly isn't a super easy target with this thing. Now I've got to be careful of these tank destroyers here. Want to get rid of that Chieftain. Our team's doing pretty good on the left. I'm paying attention, just looking at my map. Okay, unfortunately, all right, well, that was awesome. My friend was able to take him out. Unfortunately, I did not quite have the height to look down and get a shot off that FV. Now, I've got a lot of hit points here. I'm just trying to see if by chance they do end up getting spotted and I can just easily take a shot here. I don't really quite see them moving out. I've got plenty of hit points I can sacrifice. We'll just see if they make a mistake here. If not, I'm most likely just gonna end up pushing. Yeah. Let's just go ahead and push. Great shot on that 183. Is that a blind shot, or did he actually? There we go. Now, I don't know why my HE round did not penetrate. I thought I had a pretty clear shot on that side armor there. All right, let him pen me, don't necessarily care. Oh, smart move there by him, and let's finish him off. Okay, perfect. Great game. So, that is just such a good position there on mines for the VK. Just using that incredibly trollish gun mantlet. Going into Faust. Be our last game here. Just finishing it up. So, I mean, all in all, I know I've heard a lot of people say they don't like the VK-72. As a matter of fact, I feel like it's a tank you don't see very often on the battlefield. I do see a lot more E100s and Mouse tanks, and not saying those tanks aren't good. I like those tanks as well. And maybe just the VK-72 just really fits my play style very well, but I really, really like the VK-72. It's probably out of all the German tanks, even over the VK-90, kind of the fake tank Wargaming came out with for the Christmas event. I don't know what it is. I kind of like the VK-72 a bit more. I also just have a soft spot for derpish cannons as well. Can we get it? Can we get it? Not quite. Now it looks like the whole team of theirs did push off pretty hard around the sides. Yeah, I lost some hit points there. We're gonna cut down here in the middle here. Gonna see if we can get some shots. This Kronwagen is not paying attention. Now he does have the gun depression. Unfortunately, I do not. So I might have put myself in a little bit of a hard spot here. The fact that he's got the high ground and a very sloped turret, my heat round's not even gonna be able to do very much here. And I don't want to go around the right side, exposing myself. So I am going to let just the heat of the battle kind of pick up a little bit more, see if these guys get cocky. I'm really hoping, this Kronwagen is really hoping and trying to get some shots off here on me. The C-100 is making a mistake. Use that to our advantage. Got a great shot there into the lower plate. Let's see if we can bounce this. He's getting, I don't want him to get to the sides of me. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, and unfortunately, I had my cannon pointed over too far to the right, and he was able to penetrate the left side of my turret, I believe, is where he got that shot off. I should have used that third-person view, and instead of taking a shot off, just maybe waited until he bounced, but whatever. So you guys will have to let me know what you think of this tank. From what I've heard, I've either heard people really hating this thing or they really like this thing. I don't feel like there's too many people that are you know, halfway or in the middle ground when it comes to this. Oh gosh, this poor VK. That is terrible position for him. Absolutely stuck. I figured that might have happened going over those really steep cliffs right there. I think I've had that happen to me too, not thinking it would. But yeah, definitely unfortunate for him. It's always the worst going over the side of the cliff and then you just happen to go down into the area where there was a rock or something and it completely gets you stuck. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video on the VK72. Overall, really love this tank. Probably my favorite of the German heavy line at the moment. Let me know your thoughts. This is the Muffin here. You guys stay cool and keep tanking.